We are back at it with a brand new F1 X1 podcast, and we got a lot to talk about. We still have to talk about our recap from Saudi Arabia. Then we got our predictions for Australia this coming weekend. So we got a bunch to just go over, honestly. It's been almost a week since the race happened in Saudi Arabia. If I mispronounced that a bunch of times tonight, just bear with me. I suck at pronunciation. However, we got the boy Mix here with us today. No Zuggy, unfortunately. However, yeah, Saudi Arabia, what can you say? Max went out and dominated by like 30,000 seconds, I think. I think he almost lapped the entire field at this point. No, he lapped up to like, I want to say 13th. Yeah, I was going to say close to the top 10. But, I mean, we don't even have to talk about Max. He's the best driver out right now. He has the best car. He's dominating. He's playing iRacing till 4 a.m. and still winning. I don't get it, man. He's just so freaking good. I did hear a rumor though about that. Is he said he was just trying to stay on his UK sleep schedule, and he was just having fun and not going crazy because he was playing on a controller. Yeah, he's a demon. Like, he's playing till 4 a.m. Saudi Arabia time. Playing iRacing with the boys, waking up, winning an F1 race by 20-something seconds. He's honestly,
it was only 13.
It was, bro. It felt like the entire, like, he gapped everybody, but he almost lapped everybody. But no, Max is really good. Red Bull looked really good. So like top 5, it was Max Verstappen, Perez, Charles Leclerc, Oscar Piastri. Oscar got 4th.
Yep.
Damn. Fernando Alonso. And then George Russell. Shout out to the rookie, the up and coming. This guy's gonna be so good in a few years if he gets into a good team. What's his first name?
Ollie Behrman.
Ollie, that's right. I was gonna say something like Oscar, but I knew it wasn't Oscar. But Oliver Behrman, and then Lando got 8th, and then Lewis got 9th. And then Nico Hulkenberg got 10th, which is a crazy. We'll get into that because that was a crazy sequence how he got points. But just going for your podium right now, Max Verstappen. He's the best. Whatever. Who cares about the podium? Don't even look at first place anymore. Sergio Perez. He drove great in that 2 spot. Honestly, him and Charles, like, I didn't really see too much of it. The broadcast really didn't show too much of that battle. Obviously, Charles was 5 seconds behind him at the end. But we really got to see the battle with like the 10th through like the 14th, and then with Hamilton and Lando, Hamilton and Oscar. Like, that was the battle that they really showed on broadcast. So I think the top 3 guys just rode really, really good. Rode. I keep saying ride because I'm thinking motocross, but drove really, really good. Drove really consistent. And yeah, podium guys, shout to Charles, shout to Perez, and shout to Max. But I think it gets interesting when you go down the list here, Mix. Like, the battle between Oscar and Lewis before they had to pit, or I guess before Lewis had to pit, bro, that was insane. The way that Lewis was able to hold off Oscar for, I swear to you, half the race on like used mediums. Bro, like, I don't know how he did it. I honestly don't know how he did it, because that car was so much better than the Mercedes car. So you got to give it to Lewis. Like,
well, it was just because our car was so slow in the straights, and that was like the only place you could pass.
Yeah.
So like,
Especially
you saw
like
at the end.
start.
Yeah, you saw at the end when Lando would pull away from Lewis in the high-speed corners.
Dude.
And then Lewis would catch up to him in the straightaway.
Yeah, it was just
and then they would just go back and forth. Yeah.
It was ridiculous. Obviously that battle between Oscar and Lewis was one of the best battles of the night. Like, Oscar tried to make a pass a couple times and then kind of overbraked himself, I guess you would kind of say, and outbraked himself, and Lewis was able to get around him and then hold him up a couple more laps. Obviously, McLaren's car was a little bit better just in the corners, which is helping in that circuit. Hopefully Mercedes figures something out, because like when you just talked about the Lando situation, when Lando got in front of Lewis, I was like, okay, we got a battle. And then 2 seconds later, Lando's 10 seconds ahead of him in the high speed corners. I'm like, what the hell was that? Like,
that was crazy.
Dude, that gap from like the first corner, from the first high speed after the first corner to the second corner, and then like that gap or whatever. Bro, he gapped him. Like, you couldn't even see him anymore. He was so far ahead.
Yeah.
That was honestly something really cool to watch. And then Let's go down the list. Fernando drove great. Aston Martin, good top 5. Don't even remember watching him, to be honest.
I don't either.
I don't remember watching George either. However, you got to give it out to Behrman, man. Coming in, didn't he mix? He had like 2 practices, and then qualifying.
Yeah, he had 1 practice last year in the Haas, and then he did 1 practice this weekend,
Dude,
and then qualifying.
that's insane. Insane. And he got top 10. He got 7th. He beat Lewis.
And Lando.
And Lando. Like, bro, shout out to Oliver, bro. I'm excited to see if he's able to get into a car next year. Potentially next year, potentially the year after. Just from that one performance, though, it makes like he could be a top 5 driver if he has more practice. You know what I mean? Obviously, he's in one of the best cars, the Ferrari. You know, like top 3 car, right?
Second best car.
Yeah. So I mean, but still, his performance was better than some of the goats. I wouldn't say Lando's a goat yet, but Lewis is definitely a goat.
They just had worse strategy, I think.
I think Oliver's strategy was pretty good. But Lando, Lewis battled it out at the very end. I mean, look at the finish. It was only 2 seconds. Honestly, when Lando and Lewis came in and like switched tires, they were catching Oliver. They were catching him, not like
I think they were both
amount.
on softs, though.
Yeah, they were catching him, but they just couldn't catch him, if that kind of makes sense. They couldn't catch up to him. But overall, and then probably one of the greatest things so far this season was oh my God, where is his name? So I don't get it wrong.
Nico Hulkenberg.
Nico Hulkenberg. Where is that on the list? I can't even see his name. No, not Nico Hulkenberg. Kevin Magnussen. Kevin Magnussen holding off the entire pack for a whole freaking race so Nico can get a big enough gap to change tires and get points. That was the greatest defensive driving sequence I think I've seen in my time watching F1. That was immaculate how he was able to do that. Obviously, you had times when Yuki was about to make the pass or did make the pass, and Magnussen was like, not today, boy. Not today. Got around him again. Even Magnussen had a couple incidents with Albon, right? He ran into him, right? Or Albon ran into the wall. Honestly, the best.
Got like 20 seconds of penalties or something.
20 seconds of penalties and still finished 12th.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Like once Hulkenberg pitted, he just gapped Ocon, I guess. Like he was flying or something.
That's crazy.
He didn't get lapped either.
That's wild. So shout out to Kevin. He drove great. Haas, US brand. Great performance. Got driver's constructor points. So got 1 point. All that for 1 point, baby. But hey, that's going to go huge for the championship. But that was kind of like our recap of the race. Honestly, I thought it was a good race. We had some really good battles, really good defensive battles. Obviously, you know who's going to win. But overall, it makes waking up, watching the race, I had a good time. So we didn't live stream this one, did we? No, we didn't because
I wasn't home.
We were at home. But
Australia, we will though.
Yeah, Australia will be live streaming because it's Saturday night. Both of us are going to be here, so be on the lookout for that. But let's get into our predictions. You know, Australia coming up, one of my favorite races of the year because of the time zone. We have everybody in the VCs with us. We're going to have a bunch of people just watching with us. One of my favorite races of the year. Last year was insane. We had that crazy restart at the end, and then both Aston Martins went off, which was nuts. If you guys don't remember last year, you guys can guess who won. It was Max. But
Surprise.
He only won by 0.17. So
because they had to restart.
0.17.
Might have been safety car ending. I don't even remember.
0.17. That's all I gotta say to Lewis Hamilton, baby. Someone in my live stream earlier today was like, I'm a Ferrari fan, but they just not there. And I'm like, I'll be a Ferrari fan next year because of Lewis. But yeah, last year's
seat,
dude. Yeah, what if Oliver goes to Mercedes? I mean, dude, so many things can happen, but
that'd be nuts.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Poor Ferrari.
But yeah, okay. So predictions for this year. You guys know our topics. We have 6 different topics. We have under and overachieve. We have who's going to DNF. We have best and worst strategy. And we have the biggest surprise of the weekend. We have who's going to get pole and our podium. So let's start it off with going over and underachieve mix. Let's have you start first.
Underachieve. I am gonna go with Lewis Hamilton.
Get the frick out of here, bro. He's not going to underachieve. He's going to
he
get top 3.
he
Okay.
got ninth, Josh.
Okay, that car
Was
was
it bad
trash.
strategy? Yes. No, it was bad strategy. But
Yeah, it's
he
pretty
just
bad.
hasn't been doing. He just
His
hasn't been
car
doing
is
Lewis
trash.
Hamilton
What do you
things.
expect?
What have you seen George Russell's results?
They're trash as
George
well.
Russell. George Russell has been doing pretty good this year,
What
and
is
Lewis
the
just hasn't been like I don't know what he's been doing, but he just hasn't been able to keep up. So I don't think he's gonna do that good this weekend.
Okay, so yeah, frick, I shouldn't say anything. Lewis is 9th in the points and George is 4th. So
All right.
rip.
So for my overachieve, I don't really know who's racing, so I'm just gonna put the seat. It's gonna be Oliver Behrman or Carlos
Carlos.
Sainz are gonna overachieve.
Do you think
I
Carlos? I
think
guess we didn't even say that earlier because Carlos appendix had a surgery on his appendix the day before the race, which is crazy. Do you think he races? Like, how long is that
I don't
recovery?
know. I haven't seen anything about it,
Yeah. Okay.
so
So
I'm just gonna say
overachieve.
either one of them. That Ferrari seat
Okay, I like
is
that.
gonna overachieve.
I like that. My under and overachieve. Let's go with my underachieve. I think my underachieve is going to be Max Verstappen. No, I'm just kidding. No, my underachieve is going to be Charles Leclerc. I think he's going to struggle. I think he's going to get. When I say underachieve, I mean like top 7. He's going to get like 7th, something into that round, around there. My overachieve, I think I'm going to have to go with Lando Norris. I think Lando is going to
Yeah,
be a good. I think Lando's going to be good. Then again,
we
Australia
even
has
think
that.
he's gonna be doing good the last
Yeah,
2 weeks that he hasn't.
Australia has that long straightaway, and McLaren's car is trash in the straightaways. So that's why I'm going to say overachieve. He's going to overachieve because that car shouldn't be where it's at. How about that? That makes more sense. Yeah. So that's mine. Who's going to DNF mix? Who's going to DNF?
I mean, half the field DNF last year. Nobody. Oh yeah, 2 people did a DNF last race. I think.
Pierre
Who did
Gasly didn't
DNF?
even get a lap in,
Oh yeah. Well, who was the
and
other
then
one? Oh,
Bottas.
it was Stroll.
Oh,
Stroll.
Stroll, yes, Stroll.
I don't think I pick either of those. I'm gonna go with. I hate to say this, but Logan Sargent.
Oh, not Logie Bear. Can't do that to Logie
He has
Bear.
to do it. He has to do it one of these weeks, and maybe this will be the spot. Maybe hopefully he doesn't do it. Hopefully he doesn't DNF, but you never know. They've been struggling a little bit,
I,
so I'm gonna say Logie Bear.
I think my DNF is going to be Yuki. I think he's been driving a little sporadic, as you can say, towards the end of that race.
Yeah.
So I think him maybe get out of sorts, maybe hits his teammate Daniel, and DNFs.
Daniel.
But that's who I'm going to go for my DNF is Yuki, and then best and worst strategy. This one's going to be tricky because I think a couple good teams can be in top 5.
Yeah. I think last week it was definitely Haas having the best strategy.
Oh, for sure.
Best strategy, I'm gonna go with Ferrari.
Okay.
They've been doing so good this year. They're definitely second.
Yeah,
in
their car is good.
Yeah. And they had Ollie Behrman get 7th or whatever it was last week.
Yeah,
So
that's freaking insane.
I don't know. I think they're kind of like dialed in. They're not Red Bull yet, but they're definitely easily the second best team.
Oh,
And
100%.
I don't think they'll throw anything with their strategy. But my worst strategy is going to be. I
Don't even
about
say
said
it.
McLaren. I about said McLaren. I'm not gonna lie. My worst strategy
Don't even
is
say it.
going to be Red Bull
Oh, okay.
2.0.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say Red Bull. Okay.
I don't
like
know
that.
why.
Hey, I
They've
have
been
Yuki
so
DNF.
bad.
Hey,
They've been so bad.
Yeah, they've
Like, it's
been.
kind of crazy how bad they've been. Like, we thought they were going to be insane coming out of testing.
Yeah,
Like, maybe not insane, but like
at
definitely
least
top
top 10.
tens.
Yeah.
And they're just not
I
on
mean, they're
point.
battling with freaking Alpine, man.
Yeah.
Alpine and Williams. They're battling with
And
Williams
Haas, they're
and
slower than
Haas.
Haas.
Like, damn. Okay, so my worst strategy is going to be Aston Martin. If history repeats itself, both cars DNF last year. So, I don't necessarily see them DNFing, but I can potentially see them going 9 and 10. Something around there. And then my best strategy probably going to be Ferrari, like you mentioned. I could see potentially. Now I should actually take that back because I have Charles underachieving, so I can't do that.
Oliver
Um,
Behrman win.
maybe I go with McLaren. I'll have McLaren as the best strategy because I have Lando overachieving. Maybe they have a crazy strategy to get Lando in the top 5, top 4 podium. If Lando has one good qualifying lap, I potentially see him staying in that general area, like the top 5. So that's probably who I'm going to pick. And then what's going to be your biggest surprise? I mean, there could be kind
5
of
DNFs.
5 DNFs.
Yep.
Sheesh. I wasn't even thinking that.
It was so crazy last year. I just hope we get that again.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. I guess my biggest surprise is going to be Red Bull DNF. I'm not saying Max, but I'm saying Red Bull. So I have a chance.
That's coming into mind. So like we're trying to make it happen.
Yeah, yeah, so I have Red Bull DNF as my biggest surprise. I think last week I had Max Verstappen DNF it. So,
Yeah, that didn't happen.
Yeah, no. So I'm just going to say Red Bull and see what happens. It could be Red Bull 2.0, but it's still Red Bull. Okay, and then who's going to get your pole position? I think this one could be potentially pretty interesting. Who you got? You're smiling. You're looking it up.
I've done this. This is my 3rd week in a row doing this. Charles Leclerc. He's gonna get it one of these days.
Sheesh.
He's so fast on one lap pace. Like he's got to get it sometime.
Yeah, that is true. I don't want to make the correct prediction here and say Max. I hate that. So I'm gonna go with Sergio Perez, pole position.
Heck yeah.
So
I like that.
Something crazy, Okay. And the last prediction that we have is our podium. We're gonna go from 3. We're gonna go from 3rd to 1st. Mix. Who you have?
All right. 3rd, I have Charles Leclerc.
Damn.
Throwing a pole position away again. 2nd, I have Sergio Perez. I think he'll probably qualify like 3rd and get past Charles eventually. And then 1st, the most obvious answer is Max Verstappen, and I'm gonna take that because he's dominant.
Yeah, frick you. You never go with the obvious picks, man. You never go with the obvious picks.
Hey, I said 5 DNFs and Charles Leclerc pole.
Okay, podium. This one's wild. 3rd place, Lewis. Okay.
Hey, they're fast on the straightaway.
3rd place, Lewis. 2nd place, Max Verstappen. 1st place, Charles Leclerc. That doesn't really work my underachieve.
I mean,
but...
you're covering all the bases there. I mean, if somebody else wins, it's gonna be him.
I think it's
If non-Red Bull.
Yeah,
if it's non-Red Bull, it's gonna be Charles, 100%.
So I'm gonna go out and I'm just gonna say that's my podium. Lewis, Max, Charles. I don't care if I pick Charles to underachieve. I would rather have Charles win than my prediction of underachieving becoming true. So, and if you guys get to know us, and once you guys get to know us more and more, I like to go with the bold predictions. I'm not a Max. I think Max is great, but I'm going with something wildish. Like I'm outlandish.
We like Max off the track.
Yeah. his iRacing content's hilarious. But I like to go with bold picks, man. Not saying that they're not smart. They're just stupid and bold, you know. But that's our predictions for this week in Australia. I think it's going to be a good race, man. We're going to be live streaming with everybody, doing a watch party with it. We're definitely not going to be watch partying with the F1.com live timing because we got copyrighted for that. So
Yep.
we're either going to be on YouTube or Twitch. I don't know which one yet. But I hope you guys have been enjoying the little podcast, our predictions, our recaps. I'm hoping that we can get one video out a week, whether that is just talking about recaps, talking about something going on during the week, especially during the off weeks. We definitely got to get a video out for you guys just talking nonsense about all the different stuff happening. So be on the lookout for some more content. Thank you guys so much for the love on these videos. It means a lot to us. We really enjoy talking about this and watching it, and it's awesome. So we appreciate you guys. Much love. Stay safe, and we'll be back with our recap video after the race. We're out. Peace.